I've not ever said this on camera. There's no coming back from it now, I'll be honest. We both were just triggered by our past. But on reflection, could I have ruffled some feathers? But are people viewing that? Yes. You have less and less self-awareness as it goes on. Oh, God, I don't know if to say this or not. So I'll say it.
The lifestyle show where we learn how to self-coach our way through life to increase self-awareness without judgment. That's me, your host and coach, Kabibi Bailey. Safe space conversations, storytelling and journey sharing. This is the Glow Up Tribe podcast. Hello and welcome to the Glow Up Tribe podcast. I am your host and coach, Kabibi Bailey. This is the podcast which is all about the art of self-coaching. When we say self-coaching, it's about the conversations that we have with ourselves. Today, we're going to be talking to a very special guest. I guess we've just seen him on our TV screens this year. He's a part of one of the biggest reality TV shows, dating reality TV shows this year. And we have Luke with us.
Thank you.
Hi, Luke. How are you?
I'm good. Do you know, it's like, it's so nice to be in a relaxed environment where you've not got like a million cameras on you.
Yeah. Just
it's just a bit more intimate, a bit more where you can sit, have a chat in your comfort zone.
Yeah. No, I can't believe I'm actually talking to you because it's like, it's crazy how life just... I don't know, just things happen quick. I mean, how we met, it was online. I came back from an event one night. And as I said, this thing was bothering me. How MAFS ended for me. For those that haven't seen it, I won't go into the details of that. But with regards to your couple, it didn't go the way that I thought it was going to go. And many people were shocked and surprised. And I was at this event. And yes, that event finished. And I came home, I was driving in my car. And I was like... I think it's the coach in me anyway. So I was just like, it just doesn't make sense. Like it was bothering me. And then I just came back home. I did a video and I put the pieces together. I thought, oh my gosh, I think this might be it. And so what that was that this was, how things ended between you and Jay was that, yes, it might have been a part of your past as to why maybe things ended the way they did. And then from that, you obviously reposted. And so, I just want to say I'm really grateful for you being here. Like, as in, even for this not to have been officially launched, I'm really, really grateful that, like, because obviously in the world of social media, I'm a nobody. Let's be honest. But for you to take the time to even, respond to a DM, or I can send you an email and you've responded back, that actually says a lot about you. So I just really want to just acknowledge you for that and say thank you for giving me the time to interview, talk to you and connect.
No, I thank you for inviting me. And I think the reason that I wanted to come to meet you, speak to you, and obviously give you the time as well is because you understood what my full journey was. I feel like, especially the video you posted on your TikTok, which I reshared, was it hit the nail on the head. Yeah, and it was so frustrating that building up to that, up to see that video, it was so frustrating because the only videos I'd see were negative.
Oh my gosh.
And so when I saw that video...
it was like an onslaught of it felt like even, when David Beckham lost the cup, like it felt like for me, I was like, oh my gosh, the heat. Yeah.
No, and it's been bad. So even when I come across your video, like when I first started watching it, I thought, here we go, here's another one. Honestly, that's what I genuinely thought. So I was like, here we go, here's another one.
Because I tagged you as well, innit? I did tag you.
Honestly, normally the ones that tag me, the ones that are definitely giving me heat. It's normally the nice ones that don't tag me. But so when I come across it, it was so refreshing. It was like talking about, like, people need to realise what my backstory was at the start of the show, because if you don't take their consideration, then you don't know what me or anyone else within the cast is actually going through and why they do sometimes act in a certain way, or they do have triggers and traumas. And I think you understood that, and from that video, it's made other people. I've had so many people when I repost it on my Instagram. Yeah,
I've actually seen some comments saying, great perspectives. Like, I don't think some people didn't even think about it at all.
People just forget, because it was so long ago. Remember, I was the first episode. Me and Jay was the first wedding, so we was literally the furthest we could possibly get. So to come to the end of it and then it not work, and then, don't get me wrong, the way things were edited could have been better as well. But look, it is what it is. The edit's they can do what they want for entertainment purposes. It's fine. Yeah. But then for people then to forget what someone's full journey is from start to finish, I think is a bit ignorant. But you didn't, and I'm so grateful for that, because it saved me from messaging back so many people trying to tell them the same thing. And that one video has got me more love from the haters. I've had people apologise and stuff. Like, I didn't realise. Like, actually, I'll take back what I said. Going from like death threats to that is mad.
What? Sorry, mate, I'm just like...
It's laughable. Honestly, I've had death threats and all sorts, like all over a TV show, which the edit is terrible for one, and like relationships don't always work. So I mean, if you saw someone if your friend split up with their girlfriend, you're not going to send him death threats. Do you know what I mean? Like, let's be honest. Like, or hate.
Things just change on socials, don't they?
100%. And like, whether the relationship works or not, and no matter who's, I'm not even going to details why it didn't work, but no matter what whose fault it was, or whether it was no one's fault or both the parties' fault, no one deserves to be hated on. If you don't like that person, just steer clear of them. If you want to have a bad thing to say about someone, especially cast members on TV shows, say it in your friends' WhatsApp group chat. That's what group chats are for. Do you know what I mean? Vent in them. Don't vent on someone comments on their Instagram. Like, it just doesn't make sense. So, but I do also believe the people doing this, the people who do give hate, tend to have issues themselves. And that's how they vent. So
it's like projection in some ways, isn't it?
And I get that. And it's sometimes I read them, like, especially when someone like the same person writes like every day for like a month. Like, honestly, it is sometimes. I've got a few like who literally any post I put up put something negative on. It's like they must have so bad, some bad thing happen to them in their life, or going through some stuff. They're doing that, and like I'll be honest, a couple of them I reached out to, I said, "Are you actually okay?" Like, I think they think I'm patronising them, but I'm not. No, I genuinely am. If you need support and help, I'll happily find you the right support and help, because I'm worried about them.
But also, maybe not having any meaning to their lives or purpose as to why they exist. Because those people are too busy to be hating on somebody that 100%. They don't even know, have never met in their whole life. And
that's why, like we said earlier, the coaching is important. To them coach themselves, because
honestly,
I hope they watch this and think, do you know what, actually I need to take a long hard look at myself and start coaching themselves a bit more, because
honestly,
we all make mistakes.
Self-awareness is like critical in this time.
100%. And like, I've said and done things since MAFS was aired, and I've come out and called people, other cast members, called them out and stuff. I mean, there's a bit of back and forward between me and Jordan, which is fine. But on reflection, could I have ruffled some feathers? But are people viewing that? Yes. Should I kind of been a little bit tame on that? Yes. But that's reflection, and that's what I've learned from it. So I think I don't hate anyone who sent me hate, but I just want them to reflect and kind of move. And in the future, don't go to any cast member's page and write anything negative. It's just nice.
Well, speaking of glowing up, your appearance, okay, I'm loving it. Obviously, you've lost a lot of weight. How much weight have you lost?
So I've lost about 22 to 24 pounds.
Wow.
So gone up to 2 stone.
Is this the smallest you've ever been? Like,
I used to be really, 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 like when I say like skinny, really skinny when I was younger. Then when I kind of hit 24-ish, I was like in the middle of like an 8-year relationship, so like you're just comfortable. Do you know what I mean? You start eating out all the time. So I was about, I think my heaviest was like 15 and a half, 16 stone.
Okay.
So now I'm about 13. So
like
I'm 3 stone down. 3.5 stone down, I think, from my heaviest, which is good, and I'm at a comfortable weight now.
Was that always something you wanted to do? Like, as in the beginning of this year, you thought I'm going to lose weight, or did it just go in hand with? Obviously, you've just come off of reality. You thought I'm going to be more in the public eye. I want to lose some weight.
I'll be honest, I didn't even think about the public eye thing. I just want to be a bit more healthy
for yourself.
I drink a lot of beer, so like for me, I was like, I don't want to cut the beer out. I'm like a proper like beer drinker. I don't want to cut the beer out. So I was like, what can I cut out? What will make me help? Like give. And I think anyone out there who is looking, like, I've still got a long way to go. I haven't even started the gym yet. That's all diet, by the way, from the weight loss.
Is it?
I haven't been going to the gym up until recently. Obviously last week because obviously got boxing coming up, but.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it's all diet.
It is true. The whole 80% diet and 20% fitness.
It's true. So fitness is more, I think, for the cardio. I think you lose weight, and it makes you fitter.
That's why I'm running at 6 o'clock in the morning in these cold winter mornings.
What cardio? I used to love cardio, and what it used to do for me is. It used to just make me fitter, so I wouldn't mind getting up and going out for a walk. Where if you don't do cardio, then you become lazy. It's not that because your fitness is lower, because your mind tells you can't do it when you can. But I'm back in the gym now, so I should get a little bit more trimmed and
Nice.
Hopefully look even more sexy.
Tone up and 100%. How has it been like, obviously after MAFS, in terms of, I guess, women and ladies, and I mean, has that always been something you've had to deal with, or is it just now that, how's that going?
I've never been like a womanizer. Like I've never been like, I know a lot of men go out there and it's like each their own. I've got friends like it, go out there and like, I'm going a night out with the main aim to pull a woman. And a lot of women do that as well. I've met but I've never gone out saying, oh, I'm going out to pull a woman. That's not it. Like, if you meet someone or you get talking to someone, that's fine. But I've never been someone where I would go up to women, approach women. Like that's not what I'm about. Like I like meeting people naturally. But obviously since the show, there's no such thing as natural anymore, because when you're out in a nightclub or you're out even in a coffee shop, like you get loads of people come up to you, ask you for pictures. Obviously the problem with that is, especially when it comes to like the women, you don't know what you don't really know, I don't know, you don't know what their intentions are. Do you know what I mean? Like you don't know like if they're actually really into you because they've seen you on TV, they like your personality, like the way you look, or whether they're into you because you've been on TV.
Yeah, opportunists,
Which, I mean, they're not getting much opportunity for me, do you know what I mean?
No, but still.
But do you know what I mean? There's still the status is a little bit higher than what it was before, so people kind of can latch on to that. It's not only women. It's like certain businesses, certain friends start coming out the woodwork we haven't spoke to in a year. So it's like it does, and people who would never have said hello to you in the pub are now saying hello to you. Do you know what I mean? And so it is strange. I like it. Like will never ever say no to a photo. Like
you honestly seem like a people person.
Oh, I love
so
it.
like
I love
it's
people.
just I feel like that's the vibe I'm getting from you. You're just open. You're a conversationalist.
Yeah.
So
I'll be honest. I am. People. Some people who watch MAFS won't agree with this, especially the back end of MAFS. But I am one of the most kindest, down to earth people. I'll do anything for anyone. I'll go on anyone's podcast, it wouldn't bother me to take my time a day, especially like yourself. It's a brand new podcast.
Yeah,
you've got to start somewhere. Do you know what I mean?
Honestly.
I'm like, do you know what? I've been places in my life where I've needed people to support me, and maybe I haven't had that support, and I know how hard it can be. So to come in, for example, like here, I know that's even if it helps you get another 100 viewers, honestly, it's still done something. So, and I'm like that outside of the TV, outside of this, like on the street, like I'm always the first person to help someone with their bags at the supermarket, or like, do you know what I mean? I've always been like that, and I think coming from a big family, I'm one of 8. So I've always had to chip in and help out, because
where are you in that 8?
I'm middle, but I'm fourth.
Okay.
Fourth oldest. So
you're like middle child, like
middle child, basically. Yeah.
Middle child syndrome, is that your story?
No. If I'm honest, I think
there's quite a lot of you though. To be fair, I think it's more with the smaller, like maybe 3 siblings or something like that.
I think I'm very. I think my family say this. Like I'm probably one of the most ambitious out of our siblings, if not the most. And it's not slagging you guys off, by the way. Like, I love them all. Like, but I think I've got a bit of drive. In me. And I think that drive I like giving that drive out to people. Do you know what I mean? I want people to do better. Yeah. And the amount of times I've sat down with like my siblings or my friends and been like, this is how, like, what do you want to do, or what are you disappointed about what's happened in like, coming up, and how can you do better? And sometimes we're all guilty of this. We don't give that same advice to ourselves. Do you know what I mean? And it's only until recently, like probably the last couple of weeks, where I've sat there and thought, what haven't I liked, especially throughout the process of MAFS and just before that, or in the last probably 5 years, what haven't I liked? Yeah. And what do I want? And that's the first time I've really sat down and kind of thought about it. Even though I'm driven, I'm normally driven in the moment. Yeah. So I mean, if I have an idea there and then, I'll go for that idea. But I've never really sat down and had built like a life plan. I've had like 5-year plans and what I kind of want to achieve, but never actually sat down and thought, how am I going to achieve this, and what I need to do, what do I need to change about myself to get there, because no one's perfect and I'm far from it. Yeah.
So I've got an icebreaker for you. Okay. Didn't mention this off camera. So let me see if you roll with this.
Go on.
But I read somewhere that you have the ability to make anyone laugh. Okay. Is that correct? I think it was the Daily Mail. So I'm not sure if that is really true, to be honest.
Now I've been put on the spot. I'm not like a stand-up comedian.
Okay, because I was going to set you to a little challenge. I was going to say with 1 minute on the timer, could you make me laugh, please, in 1 minute? Like, it's even if you just tell me a story, do like just anything.
Okay, right. I'll think. Got a minute, yeah? Let me think. Don't give me 10 seconds and then start the timer.
Yes.
Right.
His toes tapping. He's really thinking about this.
Oh, God, I know so many bad jokes, but they're so rude and I can't put them on there. Done it, told you. Whee!
Hold on. We hadn't started.
No, we started. That was my trick.
Oh my gosh. I feel duped. That wasn't meant to go that way. I was really trying to be like, no, see? I'm going to really not laugh.
And that's actually a trick about comedy.
Mad.
When comedy happens, it's about taking people by surprise. It's not actually about the joke itself. So when a punchline, if you know the punchline's coming, you don't laugh.
Oh my gosh.
So if you make someone
laugh naturally. That's
the
whole skill. Like, what?
So there you go.
Okay, next. So life now, Luke, how have you managed, what does that look like for you now? Like, obviously you've just come off of one of the probably biggest dating shows in the UK.
Yeah.
What's life like for you in terms of even mentally, and obviously people recognizing you? And
yeah, I think there's a transition you go through, and I think anyone who's done any reality TV really, especially a big reality TV show, will probably agree with this. There's a transition where when you're living it in the moment, the actual show itself, you're kind of taking day by day. But when you obviously when it's airing, you're living it again, but a bit differently to how it happened.
Yeah.
And then after the show, or so the last 2 weeks of that show airing, so coming towards the end of the airing.
Yeah, the post of it.
Yeah, then that's the build up. Okay, you start to question yourself, what's next? What's coming? Then you start thinking. You have a bit of a panic.
Because even your career as well, things that you were doing before, what does that look like even? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what you panic about. You start thinking, could I go out and get a job now? You start questioning yourself, is a company now going to not take me because I've been on TV? Or are companies going to take me just because I've been on TV?
Yeah.
So again, you start questioning people's agendas on or people's opinions on you, because then you start thinking, what am I meant to do? But then kind of ultimately after about 2 weeks of that, so we're kind of about 2-3 weeks after the show stopped airing now. So I've come to a stage where I'm comfortable, I'm content.
Yeah.
I haven't got no worries.
Yeah.
It's all good. I've got a bit of work coming. I've got work.
Are you with an agency now?
I'm with an agent. Yeah. So I've only just signed the agency actually.
Okay.
Black Bear PR. Shout out to you.
Nice.
So I'm with an agent, and obviously there's sort of stuff out with me, and I've got work coming in, and financially I'm okay.
Yeah, because obviously the bills are still billing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so it's what is?
Don't get me wrong. I've you don't get paid for MAFS. So you're there.
I heard you got a little
incentive,
incentive, maybe 100 something a day or something like that.
Well, I don't know what mine worked out. Basically, they give you loss of earnings if you're on over a certain amount. Basically, it's capped. That's what I'm trying to say. So, my loss of earnings didn't cover my wage, where some people's loss of earnings did. So obviously, my bills might be higher than other people's because I was on more. So now I still have to pay. Put it this way: I've rinsed through most of my savings coming off MAFS, but then I've got money coming in now. Yeah. Obviously, from different avenues, like anything really, in sort of media or obviously the boxing as well.
Yeah,
the boxing's a big.
Yeah, we're going to get into that. The boxing, that's massive. So does any part of you feel lost at all? Obviously you just said about, you think, what am I going to do now? Yeah. Would you say that you're in that space, or you just think figuring things out day by day? Is it just take the days as it comes?
I think lost is I wouldn't say I'm lost. I think maybe 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, when the show was that last week of the show airing, that I was I kind of didn't really remember who I was anymore again. It took me back to the time when I was at that reunion, because I felt the same after that, and I had to go through some therapy to kind of bring myself back together. So it kind of put me back in that mindset, because I remembered how I felt back then. It reminded me. Then it kind of, when you remember how low you was, it then automatically start becoming that low again. So I felt a bit lost then, but not within what I want to do, but within myself. But then as the weeks have gone on, with probably 3 weeks from that now, and like I say, I feel content, but we all know this is going to end. So we all know that the fall off is starting. Yeah.
I get that. Yeah.
And, but then, as the weeks have gone on, like, with probably 3 weeks from that now, and like I say, I feel content, but we all know this is going to end. So we all know the fall off is starting. Yeah.
Yeah.
I get that. look, I can be honest. It's about when now you're in the industry to a certain extent, and people are going to hate me for even saying this, but I need to say this because every cast member who's ever been on reality TV, this is what they're thinking, and no one's ever come out and said this, but it's now about keeping relevant. Yeah. Whether you went on TV to be famous, to be relevant or not, when you come off it and you've got some sort of status and you've got some sort of following, it now is you come up with ideas and your plans and with your agent sit down, how am I going to keep relevant for as long as possible to keep that money coming in? Because as long as you're relevant, the more relevant you'll be. Like it was just like a snowball effect. Yeah. Because if you're relevant for 5 years, you're going to be known much longer into the future. You're relevant for like 6 weeks. After a year, you won't be known at all. No one will even know who you are anymore. So
in some ways, you've got to really have like a strategy in mind. This can't just be like the hype of now the whatever 100+ K followers and then you've got no like long term. You kind of need to kind of approach it in some ways like a business or something. In some ways, you need to have that in mind. That's what I'm getting.
We're all self-employed now. So we're all self-employed. We still have to pay your taxes when we go to like do stuff. Still have to pay taxes to the tax man. So we aren't.
HMRC are still coming.
Do you know what I mean? They're knocking on that door. Do you know what I mean? Kicking me door down. They even clamped me car, for God's sake. I didn't pay the last podcast. But no, it's like, look, we've all still got to pay bills. People are like, oh, you're doing it for money, doing it for fame. No, but I mean, if someone was handing you money for doing something you love and talking to people, would you not take it? Do you know what I mean? Like,
it's like, don't make me feel bad about it. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm just...
If people say that, if they are that upset about us making money on the back of a TV show, they shouldn't be watching these TV shows, because every single cast member is either paid to go on the TV show or they're going to get some sort of payment afterwards from other stuff. So every single person, even if it's not their agenda to go on there to do that, look, no one would go on TV, no one would get married, for example, to a random stranger down the street.
No, I hope not.
So any cast member who's ever been on, they could lie to you.
Unless it's arranged.
Unless it's arranged, unless it's arranged, So unless it's like a religious, for religious purposes, that's fine. But then still, it's not married at first sight. They still normally meet the person, like, do you know what I mean? And the families meet, do you know what I mean? The arranged marriages. So this is literally, you don't even meet them. Don't meet none of their family. Don't know nothing about them.
It's crazy.
So, like, but no one would. None of the cast would have married a stranger from the street, not met, if the TV cameras weren't there. But I'm not saying that all the cast members are there for fame, because most of us wasn't. There was a couple of people, don't get me wrong, but it's their own. Also, if someone offers you a chance to be on a TV show and tell you this what you could get after, obviously it's an incentive. You're obviously not going to say like most of the UK, especially most of the UK under 40, is probably going to do it. So I think it is what it is. Do you know what I mean? But
so in what ways, like, does one stay relevant?
So it's about...
What do you think some of the keys to staying relevant are?
So for me, it's about thinking outside the box and looking where, especially in this industry, look where the market's saturated and trying to avoid that part of the market. So for example, a good opportunity, what's come about for me, I'll touch on it now, is the boxing. So again, a lot of people who watch MAFS don't watch influencer boxing like Misfits and stuff at the moment, and most of them probably won't watch that. So me and Jordan doing the boxing, even though we don't like each other, it's a good opportunity.
So Jordan is another cast member for those that don't know, and Luke and Jordan haven't necessarily had the best kind of relationship, and it is real. They don't actually like each other off screen, and they don't really talk to each other. But this boxing match has been arranged. It's been arranged.
It's all like legit. Like we've got we'll have like proper judges there, proper security there, proper like medics there. It's all proper legit. It's going to be at the O2 Indigo. It's going to be a massive event. It's it's huge. Like, it is huge. And look, that is, even though ultimately that isn't like what I didn't really think about that before the altercation on screen. But then after, I was like, do you know what? This is also an opportunity to sort the beef we've got. Like, to sort out. So I shouldn't really do beef. People might not know what that means. To sort out the drama me and Jordan have got between each other and the hate we've got between each other. We can sort that out, then shake hands after, whoever wins. And also, it's about unlocking a new audience and, again, keeping relevant for a bit longer. So you've got to be clever in this industry. You've got to kind of I don't know how other people haven't really, not many people have gone down the influencer boxing routes from reality TV. I can't have tried it, but like not straight off a show, bang into it. And that's where I kind of, me and fair play to Jordan.
But also is obviously agreeing to it as well.
Has thought outside the box and like, do you know what?
Yeah.
It's an opportunity.
Yeah, you get a bit of a bag attached to that as well.
A bit of money, a bit more relevance from other people.
Yeah.
But some people who watch MAFS are going to hate the idea. And
because I've seen, I'm not gonna lie, I saw some of your comments yesterday, and it was like, oh, grow up, and oh my gosh, like, and you know, obviously people got their opinions entitled to them, but obviously you've decided to do what you're gonna do.
Exactly, yeah. And if people want to question my intentions for going on MAFS, they can do that. I know my intentions going on there. The casting producers knew my intention to go on there. Jane knew my intention to going on there. That's what matters to me. And if they want to say I've done it for fame, they can do that. Don't bother me. I know it wasn't. Because
I'm reminded as well, like even in doing my research, you obviously did, I think part of that from the viewers have been because you went on to something last year with Davina McCall.
Year before last,
is it the Languages of Love?
Yeah, Language of Love, yeah.
Yeah, and it's like Espanol, you go
it's
over
fun.
and sorry, let me stop with the accent. But yeah, before someone says that I'm, you know, I'll get comments that are saying something. But so you kind of had, it was a dating thing once again, and then you went over to, and then to kind of find love in the, I guess, language barriers.
Yeah, so this is quite important you say that actually, because people say, oh, you was on TV before. Yeah, I was. That was nowhere near as serious as getting married. And that year, I got offered to go on MAFS as well, and I turned it down. And then last year, I got offered to go on MAFS as well. I turned it down.
So you applied for language of...
No, they approached me. I've never applied for a TV show. I've always been approached.
So how have you been visible to them? That's my question.
So the first person, the main one was Married at First Sight. Someone from the casting producers randomly messaged me on Instagram. Originally 2 years ago. It's not last year's one. Like the one before.
Yeah.
And I was literally just fresh out of a relationship. I was like probably a year out of that 8-year relationship. So I wasn't ready. Then they messaged back a few months later saying, right, okay, I know you're not ready for this, but the same channels, Channel 4, also E4 owns Channel 4, Channel 4 owns E4, sorry. The same channel, they sold it to me on like a thing saying, look, it's not like it's dating, but it's not serious, it's a bit of fun.
Yeah.
This is going to help you kind of take that stepping stone into start dating again.
Yeah.
And also you go to Marbella for a month.
Yeah, get a little holiday.
Stay in a villa.
Yeah.
That's what sold it to me. Obviously, I thought I was open to finding love. Like I wanted to, like my hope was to meet someone.
Yeah.
But like in more of a relaxed, not force myself to meet someone and things. And it wasn't marrying a stranger. Do you know what I mean? So then obviously I come off of that. I was approached again for MAFS. That was this now last year.
Oh my gosh, we might have ended up getting married, Luke. If they had accepted my application, Married at First Sight. Sorry, I don't know. Hopefully, you know, things can work out for me by then. But yes, I did apply myself last year. So you got approached last year.
Yes, I got a message again from the casting producer, and then I said no because again I was come off the other show. Like I wasn't really. After coming off the other show, because I was seeing some girl from that show, and that didn't work out. Like after, like she lives quite far. Like, I always get stuck with the far one. Are you wanting someone
local then, Luke?
I want someone with at least 100 miles. Do you know what I mean? Like she was like 3 hours drive. This other 2.5, 3 hours drive. The other girl from the other show, and we weren't never together. We were just seeing each other. That didn't work out, and I was a bit sad over that as well because I thought I was kind of ready to start dating then. Yeah, and it kind of that took a. Again, she cut things off. So that was the second person to cut things off for me.
Oh, okay.
But it wasn't like cutting off because we wasn't together. But it was like I wanted more with her because I thought I was over. That's the first time I realised I was just over my ex. If that makes sense. When we started dating after that first show. So that show did actually help me. So obviously when I got the message again, I was like, literally again, I was still kind of not seeing, but like trying to make things work with the other girl from the show. Yeah. So I was like, nope, I'm not on it. And then like, we weren't actually, I could have went on because we weren't actually together, but I wasn't ready again. Then they, then the same casting producer messaged me for this year. They was like, Luke, we want you on. We need to have a Zoom call.
And it finally happened.
And I said no at first.
Did you?
Yeah. And then I changed my mind.
Is it? Sorry, I'm sounding. Is it? Yeah. Did you?
So I actually said no this year. So
you slid back in there in the casting producers' DMs and said, "Oh, listen, I've changed my mind."
And I was like, I'm an R in, and I was like, And I spoke to her a couple of times, and I was just having a conversation with her, and I can't remember how it actually went, but it was something like, we're still looking for, or she might have sent me, I think she sent me the poster of Instagram to me again. And I replied, no, he's still looking for people or something like that. And she was like, yeah. And then she was like, oh, come on, like at least speak to us. And she was like, oh, at least like let me have a call with you or something like that. She explained it to me, like the whole ins and outs and what goes on. And I thought, you know what, it's fate. I was like, if I've been asked all this time, either they really want me, which I don't think anyone would really want me for reality TV, but it must just be fate. And now here I am. Failed marriage and all.
So mental health. Like, how are you? I don't know how often that question is asked to you. I don't know if people even stop long enough to actually sit with you in that. But how are you doing?
So I'm better now. Like the last couple of weeks, I've been through. It's been a real
roller coaster.
Everyone
right?
says the word roller coaster.
Yeah,
You use so much, but it is true. It is a real roller coaster. Like even the last 5 years has been a roller coaster for me. Like a massive roller coaster. Like, and I can touch on something that I've touched on only a small amount before. Where so 4 and a bit years ago, like when my 8-year relationship ended, there was a time where I was like at the end of my bed with like tablets in my hand, ready to take my own life. And that's how low I was. And it wasn't the only reason, and it sounds like I'm actually proud of the reason why I didn't. Because I'm just really I'm not selfish at all. Yeah. I thought about other people. I thought about the snowball effect of it. I thought about how it affect my mum, my siblings, my friends, like even my ex.
I'm seeing you welling up right now.
It's sad. It takes me to a time where it's like, it is sad. But so that's why in life I respect the people who I'm close to, because they saved my life. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Without them even knowing it. Yeah. Just by how them being really with them caring for me and just being there for me when I haven't needed it. I'm actually a really, really strong person when it comes to talking about mental health and stuff, because all my friends and people, all the people who would never talk about mental health, always they'll pick up the phone to me. Anyone. I'm always one giving them advice and stuff, because I was and that was when I first opened up to people. I remember I kind of come out. I was at my sister-in-law's and my brother's, and I sat on the sofa and I was just broke down in tears, and then my brother started crying because I was crying, and my sister started crying. We're just all there, hugging each other, crying, because it's like they'd never seen me cry. Yeah, wow. So it was so powerful, and it was like that moment I thought, you know what? This is something that everyone should be doing, especially men.
Men, real emotions.
Men should feel comfortable. I'm not saying men have to cry in public or down the supermarket when they're upset, burst out crying. What I mean, but I want men to realise that you have got a friend out there who will not judge you. You've got a family member out there who will not judge you. There's people who you probably don't know as much as that. People don't really know who won't judge you. So it doesn't matter who you open up to, but there are people there to open up to. And not only that, if you feel you have got no one, there's so many great charities out there where they've got free phone numbers. You can actually call and they'll speak to you. There's so many there's a charity called Andy's Man Club who I've been looking into, and I'm going to hopefully do some work with them soon. Nice. And they have meetings all around the country now where men go to and just talk about how they're feeling, and not even talk there to cry, but they talk about how's it gone that week, have a bit of that banter if they want. A men's environment, but
safe space.
And if they do want to open up and kind of well up or show real emotions, there's no judgment, because everyone there does that and everyone's open to do that. Yeah. And I think people should accept that being a part of a man is having emotions. Yeah. There's people we're not. You're not any weaker. We're not cavemen. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? I'm sure cavemen cried. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? But because you don't see all the old school burly men, do you know what I mean? If you look back to and it's obviously I don't want to touch on crimes, but look back to the craze. There's times where they cried, even on the film. Some of them cried, and they're meant to be these. These gangsters, men can cry. Do you know what I mean? There's not the stigma around men not being able to show emotions is is just mind-boggling. But unfortunately,
I think it is becoming definitely normalised, and I think men
better.
have to do their once again self-work with regards to unlearning
100%.
some of the things that even taken on from young. Obviously, we look at how young girls grow up, and it's like, oh my gosh, if she hurts her knee, oh my gosh, and she's crying. But if it's, sometimes with young boy children, it's like, oh, stop, and you kind of, So I think that definitely men need to do their own have their own conversations with themselves to unlearn some of the things about what even strong looks like to them and stuff like that. So
do you know what? And I think there's a balance here. I think it's a really powerful message here that for men as well, because as much as a lot of this, and it's not only women what kind of sometimes look down at men as well, but men should also treat women better. And I think sometimes it's a battle between female and male. And on reflection, it's like, do you know what? If men respected women more and didn't talk badly about women so much, then when a man does obviously get upset, there's going to be more women who are going to be supporting them men as well. Like, yes, I'm a massive one for saying men and women are totally different.
Yeah, 100%.
Different. We live on different planets, honestly. Like, I don't understand what women want, what they need. Like, do you know what I mean? I don't understand nothing. Like, I'm like, yes. I'm like, what did she just say? Like, I don't get it. Like, I'm like
two different languages, honestly.
Exactly, and it's true, and that's fine. Like, we've all got, like, you've got a girls group chat, I'm guessing, and I've got like a boys, and we can say things in there, and maybe some of it's a bit crude, but look, there's a line, and I think men and women should align a lot more, especially when it comes to respect and especially when it comes to emotions, because I think there's probably women out there who don't want to open up to men their emotions, and that's why women also have like a lot of women as friends, and they like share their emotions with women, and that's why a lot of relationships kind of fail, I think, because people don't like talking to each other about their emotions. So women's talking to their female friends about
everyone else other than the person.
Yeah, and then the men are doing the same, and I think that's because we don't feel aligned as like male and female don't feel aligned. But actually, when it comes to emotions, we're both exactly the same. It's a human emotion. It's not a male emotion, a female emotion. Yeah. Like it's literally humanity. So I think that's important. It'd be nice for what I want to do from the mental health side of things, which I'm going to speak into some of the charities about, is maybe doing workshops in schools, colleges and stuff where, for anyone, so for people to realise and kind of know when a man is feeling down without them saying anything. Because I think the issue is we are very good at hiding emotions.
Masks.
And especially hiding from women. So if I can kind of give a bit of advice to women, especially, like this, how to identify when you're a man or when the man in your life is probably not at his best. And if I can give if I can save one person's life, that's enough.
I'm telling you that, like, I've even done the research in terms of suicide. Even it's like in the 40s,
72% of suicides in the UK
30s, 40s,
is men. So out of all suicides, wow, so that's mad. So 72%
silently suffering,
100%, and it's like also that there are women out there silently suffering. I think it doesn't go without saying, like mental health overall. In this country, the government are not doing enough, and there was legislation. I don't like to talk politics, but the legislation was just rejected about supporting more mental health and stuff. And there's not much more funding going into it. And actually, it's one of the biggest killers. So let's be honest. You're just going to chuck that under the carpet? And not only is it killers, there's people out there who are not killing themselves, who are really struggling and they're depressed and they're not living their best life because they're not getting the support they need. And I think them people alone needs more funding.
I mean, I even saw a documentary on Channel 4 about Better Help, Better Help and... Or is it Better Health?
Better Health, I think it
Better
is.
Health, Better Health. And then, actually, to be fair, there's a lot of therapists that don't seem like they're doing their job properly. Gosh. But that's another story. But obviously there's an influx of that business has been going for about 3 years, I think. But there's an influx. They put a lot into their marketing and stuff. But there's an influx of people obviously just needing the help with their mental health. So
these charities have not got the resources, and it's not their fault. It's because they're
not funded. They need, and
they're relying on people like us, like to do donations, like the public donate, and like at the moment, in this country, like everyone's struggling. People can't afford to donate, so the government need to act. And I think they need to do something. But
yeah. Especially, I guess, as coming from the time that we've had with the pandemic, even that was something that's shifted mental health anyway. And then now we're left with the aftermath of that as well. So there's a lot going on. So has the things of your mental health become even more important since that breakup, that 8-year relationship that happened? Is that what triggered this kind of, I don't know, passion for mental health?
Yeah.
Like, is that...
Yeah, I think it's quite strange, really, because when you're going through tough mental health, you end up acting rash and you end up doing things which goes probably against what you believe in.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? Yeah. And I can tell you one thing now, like for example, the feud with me and Jordan, the other cast member.
Yeah.
Like, ideally, me and him going at each other isn't good for either our mental health.
I was just going to actually speak about that. So yes, it's good that you're going there.
And it's true, but that's on self-reflection. Do you know what I mean? We're all human. We all make mistakes. Like, let's be honest. Like, we also knew there was a fight about to be announced, and you've obviously it's entertainment. You've got to promote a fight, and obviously if there's a feud going in the background, it does help sell tickets. Yeah. And that's just me, but I'm just too honest, I think. Yeah. Ticket sales going to plummet now. No, but it's true. Like, look, let's be honest, that we've all watched boxers have a go at each other just for the views. But there is a real dislike between us. We are going to resolve it in the ring, and that's going to be kind of done dust. We're going to shake each other's hand after.
But it's not something you're continuing with. That's the main thing, isn't it? It's not something you're backing and forthing about. And
after this build-up, there's going to be parts of build-up, like at press conferences, where we're going to say things to each other. Yeah. I just want people to take that as a pinch of salt. Yeah. Take it as entertainment.
Just like with reality TV. Just kind of like
because obviously we've got to say and act a certain way for entertainment when it comes to boxing. Do you know what I mean? Even though we don't like each other, and some of the stuff we say we actually mean, we both know, we both have not agree, but we've both... I'm accepting I'm going to get hate from him, and it's not affecting my mental health, and I know it's not affecting his mental health, and he accepts what I'm going to say to him. So... Like, long as us two have got a mutual agreement, understanding, it's cool. Do you know what I mean? But looking out, like, obviously, when I've said about, I really hope that people like respect men's mental health more, then about people saying, well, you didn't respect Jordan's mental health, and
that's what I've seen as well.
I respect that. I do actually respect them comments, because I do agree with what they're saying, and if they knew the understanding what we had between each other, then they wouldn't really write that comment. But it's not a good... I wouldn't say go out and start abusing people. I don't want people to start abusing people. Yeah. If there's a sport involved or if there's a build up to something, I get it. But not everyone does get it. So I know it can be dangerous.
Can I just ask, was the mop on the head, was that real when you were impersonating Jordan?
So it was real, but at that point... So I'll be honest, I'll be totally real with you now.
That was funny to me. So I'm sorry, I was kind of watching it seriously, but I was also... There was a bit of a laugh on the inside. But yes, that was real.
It's a real feud we've got. But also there is some sort of respect there between us. So I know, again, this is something I haven't told no one, and it might make me look bad, or like I don't know, I'm trying to get more followers, because that's not the case. But me and Jordan, this boxing's been in discussion since I left the show, 6 months. So before I put that video out, I voice noted Jordan. I was like, Jordan, I know it's don't see eye to eye. Obviously this boxing's coming up. You can post whatever you want about me on social media, and I'm not. It's whatever. It goes over me. I get it. We've got to do it. I'm going to post a couple of videos and stuff about you, all tongue in cheek. I love a bit of comedy anyway, and I thought it was quite funny. Like, I got half people got it, half people didn't get it, half people thought I was like actually like proper taking the piss out of him, which I was. But it was funny, like, and he'd come back with one with me as well, like done as just as like an Essex boy with fake tan and whatnot. Which was quite funny. So yeah, like, I did have the decency to voice note him and say, I'm going to do this. Yeah. And he responded, it's cool.
Yeah, it's like Curtis, that's cool. That,
it's not, even though we don't like each other, we're not friends. We're far from it. Like we do.
But you might end up the best of friends the way you started. Who knows? Do you know what I mean? I
think, I'll be honest, with Jordan, I've never had an apology, and Jay's never had an apology from him. And I think I know Jordan finds it hard to apologise. Could you see that at the
and to be fair, I think for him, and once again I do watch with a pinch of salt, but he comes across quite lacking in self-awareness. I don't think he's necessarily understands how he
and I'll be honest, I'm gonna stick up for him now in that and I don't know why, because I don't like him, but but I will, because I'm fair. I'm actually, in the other classes I'm fair, and I do have opinions, but I am fair. that environment,
Yeah.
you have less and less self-awareness as it goes on. Because even myself, like I'm quite a self-aware person, I would say.
Yeah.
Even in that environment, there's times where I look back and think, I wasn't aware. I wasn't even aware that I even said that or done that.
Wow. So it's like you become a different person?
Especially towards the back end of it, because you're influenced. You do have people influencing you, and I can't go into detail because I end up getting sued. But you are influenced by certain people. You're put under pressure. You're put in environments like when you're feeling your lowest. Like there's a welfare team, they look after you. Like the welfare team are great, by the way. Like I love the welfare team, special MAFS. But like there's maybe times you shouldn't film where you're not feeling great, and you're filming. That makes sense. But look, that's probably to my blame because I didn't say I wasn't feeling great. Do you know what I mean? But like, should I have to rely on someone to identify that I'm not feeling good? Like, I don't know. It's a fine line because if someone don't know I'm not feeling in my right mind.
It's kind of, in some ways, it's like you kind of the balance between like capitalizing off of someone's vulnerability, and then actually it's that getting the show that you need to get to, you know, it's.
As that's it. And I've discussed things what have been said to me on my years like previously and all that. I'm not going into details here, but so obviously with Jordan as well, he probably has got more self-awareness than what he looked like he had.
Okay.
I'll be honest. Like, and
that's fair of you, and that's good of you to just say that. Like, that's a real thing.
I think don't get me wrong. You can tell he's a bit younger, and that's no disrespect. You can tell he's a bit younger.
Yeah.
And obviously, when you're younger, well, not everyone young, but younger.
No, let's be
you're
honest.
trying to grow into it. You have less self-awareness the younger you are.
Yeah.
And I think he hasn't got like loads of self-awareness, but he has got more than I think what was shown.
Okay.
Because in that environment, I don't think anyone really in there. I think the ones who had self-awareness, like loads of it, and they were self-aware the whole time, would probably be the ones who were less real. Because they're purposely being aware
of the cameras and the people there.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the ones who were
it's
relaxed.
Like constant performance in some ways.
Exactly, yeah. So, like, there's probably a couple of cast members who were pretty much the same the whole way through. You don't see no dip in mental health, didn't see no dip in, like, energy. Because they come there for one job only. Do you know what I mean? So they just come across more self-aware because they're like, they know what they have to do. They've got a plan from day one. Their plan is to stay the longest they can. Yeah. They know what to say. They know what not to say. Tongue twister. Do you know what I mean? They know how to. They've probably been prepped by people before going in. So look, and each to their own. If they want to do it, I'm happy with anyone. Reality TV, there's half the cast probably have agendas, half of them won't. And that's fine, it's reality TV. Don't hate on anyone who wants to go there for fame. It's up to them.
This is it. And I was just saying, even before we started recording, that sometimes it feels like when someone just wants exposure, many people don't actually just come out and say it like that. But even if they did, what's the issue?
100%.
And I find that, like, even on socials, obviously I'm on socials myself, and I'm just finding what's wrong with public exposure, because you can leverage off of it and you can better yourself. There are wins from it. So I just don't understand why people are so
100%
in their feels about that. I don't understand myself personally. I'd love to know what the issue is, but I agree.
Like, if I said to anyone who watches MAFS, if I can give you 100,000 followers tomorrow, do you want them? At least half the people will say yes. So they can't be judging anyone going on TV for any sort of exposure. And like I've mentioned this so many times, like, none of the cast, past and present, whether they say they would or not, they're lying, would have got married to a stranger if the TV wasn't involved. Who would? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, you're not gonna not meet someone ever, not meet that family, enough about them, and just marry them. Like, but also on the other hand, I'm not saying that the whole cast didn't want love, because I know there's a few of us who did, like, they wanted to meet someone and settle down. But you also got to have a backup plan. Do you know what I mean? Also, what is it in it? Also, apart from the love, what's in it? What else is in it? Do you know what I mean? What else can I get from this? Because you're putting yourself on TV, open for abuse, open for this. You've seen what happened, like Caroline Flack and that. Open for the amount of mental health she went through, the bad mental health she went through. Like, and Mike from Love Island. Like, you can see what can happen. And you always think, no, that can't be me. And then you go through it and you're like, do you know what? I'm not in a good place. Do you know what I mean? And
are you going to mention Paul Brunson calling you?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is the perfect time. Sorry, not
Okay,
telling you what to say,
That's
but
good,
yeah.
lucky you said that 'cause I forgot. So yeah, there's a really interesting story actually I can tell you. So
Yeah.
about a month before like my wedding, I was cast really early actually. I say because I was asked multiple times. So about a month before the wedding, Paul Brunson called me.
Oh, wow.
I had some random like American number ring me.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, who's this? I thought it was like a debt collector. I was like, God, me Klarna bill, I'll pay it next week. One of them ones, do you know what I mean?
Don't. I've been
Do you know what I
there.
mean? Like, yeah. So I thought the old debt collectors were after me now. So Paul Brunson called me and he was like, Luke. He's like, Luke, my man. He was like, yeah, like how's it been, man? Like, and all that. And
Wow,
that's
I
the
love
worst
him.
American accent ever. But
Yeah.
so yeah, he called me and he was like, Luke, what do you want from MAFS? Like, well, asked about me, how I was doing. Like, and he was like, what do you want from MAFS? And I was like, I would love to find. And I was like describing like the person I want and like kind of what I want to have with that person after MAFS. Like I want to find love and find someone I can just be me, not have to worry about who I am and just like not have to. We all do it, don't we? We all like try and impress people or try and act a certain way. Even if we all act different around our mum than we do around our friends. So, I mean, imagine you could just be like this one person and everyone loved you for just being that one person.
God,
So, I mean, it'd be
it's a
so good. So
dream.
that's what I basically said to him. I was got in a bit of a dream then. I was like dreaming about it. I was like, I mean, so yeah, so he said to me, like, what do you want? I told him I want love. Like, I really think I'm really ready to settle down after going through a tough time in the last few years. And he was like, no, like, what else do you want? Like, forget the love. He was like, some of these marriages don't work. Like, if you look like only like one last year or whatever it was, one the year before, let's say it's a very small percentage. So they said, I'm not setting it up to fail, but don't go in there like and have that as your only thing you want. Have something else. And so I was like, I just want, like, the other thing that I'm really passionate about is men being able to open up and feel comfortable sharing their emotions and talking to people when they're not feeling their best self.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, that's so great. Because apparently the Luke from the year before said something similar. That's what Paul said to me. He's like, oh, Luke said something similar last year. Or no, sorry, the year before, 2 years ago it was.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so he called me. It was so nice of him to call me. And he called me and that's what I said. And it was like, that's when it kind of clicked to me. And then I was talking to him a bit more and he was talking about like status and like, after the show and things. And he was like, he said something to me, he was like, let's be honest, like it's human nature to either be driven by money, by status, like by these things what really are not that important, but they are important. Like they're not, like when you look, they're not as important as family and friends and happiness, but they are important when it comes to like life in general. Like if you've got, let's be honest, if you've got the higher status you've got, the naturally better life, I'm not saying you're going to be happier, but the better, more comfortable life you live.
You've got more fluidity. Let's just keep it real, you know?
100%. And like, yeah, I'm not going to come onto a podcast and say like, status isn't something that I would love, because of course it is. Anyone would want, or some people literally, that's their worst nightmare, having a bit of status. But majority of people,
But I also think as well is in that is bettering oneself and their opportunities.
100%.
So in that, I guess it maybe speaks to those that are more driven and ambitious in life, to those that are not, and that's okay. But then don't judge people for for wanting more from their lives.
Exactly that. And that's what Paul Brunson said. Paul Brunson said exactly that. He's like, people are going to judge. People will not everyone's going to love you, but they're going to be people who absolutely adore you. So basically what he was trying to say to me was, take every opportunity you can from the show, and don't leave any stone unturned. Basically, that's what he was saying.
That.
And I was like, Joe, fair play. I don't know if he even want me saying he said that, but
that's a life motto, motto
it's
right
true,
there.
and it's
you
true.
know?
And the amount of respect I've got for him. Don't get me wrong, look, do I agree with everything that experts say, including Paul? No, but that's human life.
Of course.
Like, you don't have to agree with someone. Are they experts? Yes. Do they know more than me? Yes. Are they ever wrong? Yes. They're still wrong. You can be an expert, still be
they're
wrong.
just a person, just like a coach or a counsellor or a therapist.
100%.
We're just people at the end of the day.
I think they missed. I think they, like I said, that last commitment ceremony at the reunion. I think they was wrong then. Like, and I think if they, on the reflection, I reckon if they watched that back and they kind of dismissed or they didn't really identify my traumas and about me having a fear of rejection and being left, on reflection, I think if they watched that back, I think Paul him saying excuses, I think he'd regret saying that. I'll be honest. I haven't spoke to him since, but I think
interesting.
I think he would look back and think, do you know what? I actually wish I picked up on that. And
I just wonder if the experts are ever told what to say.
Yeah,
I don't know. There might be part of that
there
in
are.
there.
Yeah. So it might not have been. It might not have been Paul saying excuse. It could be the producers. They do have an earpiece in.
Interesting.
The experts do have earpieces in. So half of the stuff they do say is prompted. I don't think they tell them what to say. But
No.
They were like, talk about. Can you discuss like the incident what happened on Spin the Bottle? So they'll kind of prompt them to talk about certain situations. So like, I don't know. I can't tell you. I'm not one of the experts, so I can't tell you how much of what they say is actually them, but I do know they have earpieces in. That's all I can say. But yeah, I think the experts do a great job. I don't think me and Jay didn't really need much support from them. There's we asked them a couple of questions. It's more, every time we was on that couch, there's more like, you're doing a great job, continue what you're doing, sort of thing. There's a couple of times when he was worried about like distance and stuff towards the end. There was like, right, don't worry about the distance and give us advice on that. But yeah, we was quite easy for them, I think.
So one thing that stands out when it came to the commitment ceremony is that you said, like, I ain't changing for no one. Like, and I was just curious, like, do you still stand by that? That's the first question.
So what I meant by that was the way I look at the words, I interpret the words change as totally changed who I am.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. What does change mean to you?
So change to me, when the question was, I was shocked. I was actually shocked because 2 weeks before on the couch, or the week before we left, they were saying to another couple, no. They were saying to Shona,
shouldn't have to change.
Not change for anyone.
So you took that literally, like.
So I was like, okay, like obviously I listened to the experts. I listened to everything they were saying to get other couples, and I was learning from that. Like I wasn't just there from us, like learn from what they told me. So I'd heard them say it a couple of times, and then, if I'm honest, I take the word change as like changing fully. I don't change as making adjustments. If they said, "Oh, are you willing to compromise or adjust?" I'd be like, "Yeah, of course I'm willing to compromise and adjust." But when someone says, "Are you going to change?" No, I'm not changing. Because if I change, if the way I take change, if I change, that means Jay's not going to be with me anymore. She's going to be with someone that I'm changing to be.
Do you take it as changing at your core? That's what it is.
Changing. I take it as like change is a big word for me. Like change is like, I don't know if I'm just get the different definition wrong or whether it can be interpreted two different ways. But change for me is you're becoming something else from what you are. Where if they said adjustment. Or compromise like certain aspects of what you're doing, then I would have been like, yes, it's all good. Like I'm happy to sit down and have a conversation of what's going right, what's going wrong, and make these adjustments and try and adjust as much as I can. Even if you are in certain habits and stuff, it's hard to come out habits, but I'd be willing to break habits if it's going to make someone better and it's not going to affect my life. But as soon as it starts going into change, I don't believe no one should have to change who they are, because that means Jay didn't want me for. I know she did. So, but them saying, "Oh, you need to change," was basically them saying, "Oh, Jay doesn't want you for you, Luke. She wants you for someone. She wants someone else. Like she wants you, but to be someone else." Do you know what I mean? That's how I took it. So that's why I got my back up a bit. I was like, I ain't changing for no one. So
has your perspective shifted now? Can you see the different layers of change now?
I get what they were saying.
In hindsight.
I get what they... Now I understand it. Look, watching it back. And even it was only... I didn't even understand that until I watched it back.
Yeah.
Then I was like... And at first I wasn't. I was like, hold up, why is everyone saying... Because I had loads of people who had my view on it as well on my inbox and on my comments saying, no, you're right, you shouldn't have to change for no one. So they see the word change as the same as me. Which I was like, yeah, no. But then when I've seen it, then some of the haters actually got at me, kind of educated me a bit, and I was like, I don't think they meant change fully.
No, not lose yourself.
Don't lose myself.
Yeah.
They was more about like, just make a compromise and make adjustments. Are you willing to make adjustments? And obviously, in any relationship, to make something work, no relationship is going to work unless there's some sort of adjustment or compromise. Yeah. Do I think I compromised loads anyway, made adjustments? Yes. I think I want to touch on this actually, because for anyone who hasn't watched MAFS, I apologise, but ultimately the reason me and Jay didn't work, again, the distance was a part of it. I know people say your distance should make it work, but 6 hours is a long drive, do you know what I mean, to see someone. So that was a part of it, but that wasn't the reason. Ultimately, me and Jay, basically, we were texting the other day and we had this conversation to kind of get a bit more closure. And it was like, ultimately, it's because we both had insecurities and the relationship got ended before we spoke about why it was going to end. Yeah. Then that obviously triggered my insecurity. So her insecurity was like, do you know what? He's not really into me. I'm going to finish it off. Relationship, which is fine. That's what her trauma mechanism was. And my trauma mechanism, because that was the second time it ended as well.
Between you and Jay.
You and Jay.
Yes.
Essentially left me the first and then second time. That was the second time.
So abandonment comes up there.
And that's when my wall come up then. So that basically, it's because we both have...
And what I sensed from that as well is that there was a reminder of your past, what you'd actually just...
And also, like, if someone leaves you twice, then I'm also thinking, like, I'm not good enough for you. And that's fine. That's how I felt in the moment. And I got abused for saying that. But that's how I actually felt. I felt like she needed someone who could give her what she needed. She needed someone a bit more attentive than I could be, especially with the distance. And look, there's no coming back from it now, I'll be honest. Too much time's gone past, too much has happened since. But looking back, if me or Jay, I'm not just going to put the blame on her because a relationship's two-way. If we spoke about what we was unhappy with in that relationship before ending it, our triggers we wouldn't have been triggered. Then that whole situation wouldn't have happened. But because we kind of didn't do that, and I know why we didn't, because she was triggered already. So she was triggered thinking that I wasn't into her. That was one of her insecurities.
Yeah. That's what I'm reminded of that when I first watched her as well, about what, you know.
Exactly, yeah. So then she ended the relationship without kind of saying, or
communicating then steps in afterwards.
Exactly.
And if there's a lack of communication.
Exactly. So,
wow.
And that's the thing. And it's sad because looking back, I'm like, do you know what? It could have really been prevented. And we both were just triggered by our past. And it's actually sad because I wish her the most success out of anyone I've ever met, honestly. She's such a great woman, like, and her confidence has grown, and something I'm proud of is she's mentioned to me so many times that if it wasn't for me, her confidence would be nowhere near what it is now.
Yeah.
And me accepting her with her disability, like,
that was massive.
Even
for
I just
her.
thought about that now, I totally forgot.
Yeah.
Like, you just forget, and I don't look at disability as disability for me. Like, it's okay. Sometimes someone with disability will need some extra support. That's fine. And there's going to be people that I can't date with disability because I won't be able to give them that support they need from a partner. But it's not because I'm against dating someone with disability. It's because I'm not the best person for them.
It's all about compatibility and suitability
and that's me saying out of caring for someone. Like, I'm like, so I could care for that person, but it's like emotionally. But I know that some situations and some disabilities, I won't. If they need me to care for them, some people won't need. They've got carers themselves. Like, that's fine, but I can't. Like, sometimes there's certain things I can't do in a relationship, and I'm not right for that person. And but I just hope, and I've not ever said this on camera, and it's something I'm really, really worried about. That men or women will see the abuse I got for that relationship failing and then want to not date someone with a disability. And I'm worried that's going to happen, and it's sad. And I'm really worried because I don't want that to be a negative thing, because the hate and abuse I'm getting, that's just from trolls, do you know what I mean? And I get it. I get, obviously, people love Jay.
Just break that down for me in terms of I'm trying to get my head around what you've just said. Like, what's that looking like for you, and who are you worried for?
I'm worried for, like, people, like diverse people, like disabilities, or because I don't want people thinking, because a relationship's not going to work, like in the because I don't want people thinking Jay's protected because she's disabled, and people giving me hate because the disabled girl marriage didn't work out. Do you know what I mean? So I'm just really, and I'm probably overthinking it, but I'm just worried about that how people kind of take that. And everyone's in life deserves love. Don't let what people say to you. Relationships, some of them work, some of them don't work.
100%,
and that the abuse I've got, don't let that impact anyone's.
Yeah.
Don't let that influence anyone in any way about anyone diverse. Or Jay isn't protected because she's disabled. Okay, she's just got a lot of love. She's a great person. Like she needs to be seen for someone, anyone, like anyone who hasn't got a disability or has got a disability.
Yeah.
Like there's no, like people shouldn't have to.
It doesn't define her, does it? Really?
Define her.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Even though like I think it's defined her up until like her character. I think she's got a lot of confidence from it. Also, but she has a lot. Even
signed now to a diverse agency because of that. So
exactly, yeah. So I just want to message for everyone that it doesn't matter if you're disabled, what background you come from, like even like I don't know anything. Like in life, everyone's different. Do you know what I mean? Everyone's different. Like so, it's okay to love anyone. Like it doesn't. Don't be put off by what's like the man down the pub like takes the piss or do you know what I mean? Like out of you for dating someone disabled or whatever. That doesn't matter. Do you know what I mean? So just be wary that everyone deserves love, and no matter what background you come from or no matter what your diversity is, it doesn't matter.
I love that. So Luke,
yeah.
Your relationship status at the moment. Okay. Are you fully single?
Fully single, 100%
fully
single.
Healed.
I think healing. Right. So this is an interesting one. So do I feel ready to date? That is the question. The answer is probably no. Like, I'm not actively looking to date someone.
You're not single and seeking. I'm
just single.
Yeah.
Like it sounds really soppy, like especially like as a man to say this. Like it sounds like the man stigma, but I'm gonna say it anyway because it's like saying I would love like a fairy tale where you go to like a coffee shop, you buy a coffee, you kind of look at someone coffee, you kind of link eyes.
Yeah.
Then all day you're thinking, oh, I wish I said hello to them. Or then you got to try and social, trying to find them. Yeah. You think, oh, wonder if they're like, you look at the area and like, you try and find them to kind of link up or to mention, like, I'd love that. Like meet someone so naturally and pure where I think when it comes to healing side of things, I don't think anyone's ever fully healed.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's progressive and it's 100%. Just...
And we do in life come across people we're meant to meet and we come across have relationships we're meant to have, whether that's like intimate or whether that's just friends or whatever relationships. It's all a learning journey. Like that's what life is. Life's about making mistakes, learning from them, not sometimes making this mistake twice and learning from it again, or even the third time. Do you know what I mean? It's about kind of learning and kind of then you end up growing up. When you get older, the older you get, the more your head don't like kind of wobble off when it comes to these mistakes when you've done it more than once. Like you kind of learn from it and that you kind of then you have the ability to teach people as well. Yeah. But as soon as I like there's certain situations, especially like the mental health stuff, I feel ready to like kind of talk about it to other people. So that means I know that I've gone through quite enough in my life and have enough issues like mentally to be able to discuss it. So I think the same with any situation, especially like past relationship traumas, that until I meet someone where it does work, you'd never know if you're ready. Do you know what I mean? It's so hard to explain. Like you can say, "Oh, I'm ready." Like because I'd say now I'm ready to date, but I know deep down I'm never going to be ready to date. Do you know what I mean? Because you're always going to compare yourself to your past relationships or what was good in that one, what was good in that one. Like you want it all in one relationship, and none of us are ready until you meet the one. Do you know what I mean? And some of us are some of us are not going to meet the one for 10 years. Do you know what I mean? But they also
do you believe there is only one person for one person?
I think it's a hard question to answer because I believe everyone's got a soulmate. Out there. I do believe soulmate can be friend though. I think there's someone that you can click with in life where soulmate don't have to just be a lover. It can be like someone who is your ride or die like sort of person. And if it's your lover, that's even better. But I think that you can have multiple people like, across your life because even as a human, every 7 years we're a different person. Not one cell in 7 years' time. There's not going to be one cell in my body. It's the same now. So we actually change as well. So
regenerate.
And that's why it's just really weird. Actually, I don't know the psychology behind it. But Joe, the 7 year is it 7 year itch?
7 year itch. Yeah.
Isn't it weird that every 7 years your cells
7 means complete as well.
Yeah. So every 7 years, relationships tend to fail after the 7 year point, and that just means that person's not the same, because they're not. They're physically, outside, but in their cells inside, they're not the same person anymore. So it goes hand in hand, and it is weird. So I think you can meet multiple people along the way, I'm trying to say, where you've got multiple soulmates. You've got one main one, but you'll always be that person you'll always remember.
Yeah.
But you've got multiple soulmates that you can always connect with, and you just know, do you know what I mean?
Who is that person that you always remember? Do you have a person that you always remember?
Yeah.
Okay. Care to divulge?
Nah, that's it. There's always going to, look, I think there's always going to be a relationship at every point in your life, and you're going to remember different relationships for different reasons. And there's no disrespect to Jay.
Yeah.
I'm going to remember Jay. She's going to be a huge part of my life. She's always going to have a place in my heart, and I'm going to remember her.
Because even the experience you share is so unique.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? So it's like
I'm never going to be able to forget her. And that for that reason alone, do you know what I mean? Not only that, like, she is such a great character, and like, there's things about her that I absolutely adore. But then there's also like a relationship, like, outside of the TV and outside of everything, that you'd always, like, my 80 relationship, like, I'll never forget the setup. Like her family was my family. Like, we had a dog. Like, we lived together. It was like the perfect setup. And we was both young. We grew into it. So I went from a boy to a man with her. So I think that's.
Can I ask just one last question? Was marriage on the cards at all? Did you want marriage? Was that something you ever discussed?
Yeah. So obviously 8 years is a long time not to propose, and everyone says that. But I think, again, if you're not ready for marriage, you're not ready for marriage. Oh God, I don't know if to say this or not. So I'll say it, God. So I don't know. Okay, we did speak about kids and stuff, and like marriage and stuff, and like probably halfway through, and we always had like a age. It was my age was like 20. I would love to start having kids at like 28, and marriage would have been like, proposal would have been around that sort of time. Okay, and the shit thing is, that's roughly when the relationship ended. Just before that. Okay. So it was a bit of a kick in the teeth, but we learned from it. Yeah. I'm here, like, look at the opportunity I've had since. Yeah. Everything happens for a reason. And
the Luke you are today is not the same Luke you 100%. Were in that relationship. 100%. So there's been an evolving take place. Exactly. And so, yeah, it's amazing. Yeah. So what's next for Luke?
What's next? So, look, I love to do loads of stuff like this, and like, I absolutely love talking to people. I talk too much.
I know.
Shut up. No, but yeah, I think I love talking to people. I want to get people to see the real me. That I can be vulnerable. I can sit and have a conversation, talk about like stuff naturally. I don't have to think about answers and make stuff up. Like, this is raw. This is what I actually believe, and like, I want people to see this side to me, because I'm not going to talk about. I don't want to talk about maths anymore. I'll be honest. I've spoke about it enough. Like, there's going to be. I'm still going to have interviews where people ask me about it, and I'm okay with that. Yeah. But that doesn't define me.
I think also as well, just at this point, it's more of a mention rather than everything stem from. And
I want people to know me. Yeah. Like, I don't think people got to know me. The first half of maths was a bit more a truer reflection of who I am, my character, especially like the honeymoon, that episode. If everyone wants to know who I am a bit, my jolly self, watch the honeymoon episode, and you kind of get a bit of a gauge of who I am. And ultimately, I want to work with some men's mental health charities. I've got a couple that I'm going to be speaking to. I've got the boxing coming up, which is going to be really, really good. Tickets on sale. Nice. It's at the O2 Indigo on the 9th of February. So fantastic. It's going to be good. And it's going to be a laugh. And I just want to have fun. Yeah. I want to have fun, relax. I don't want to have no pressure. I mean, when there's pressure on your shoulders, you end up sometimes doing things what you shouldn't do, or doing things that you would regret in the future because you're under so much pressure. When you're relaxed, you're just enjoying life. You don't tend to regret anything because you're not worried about what's going to go right, what's going to go wrong. Yeah. So I think that's what I want. Like, I want everyone just to be happy.
Yeah, nice. My last word to you would be, just to stand in the truth of who you are.
Yeah.
So even with regards to people and explanation, some people are committed to misunderstanding you. And I think, and it's us as people. So I'm not going to expend my energy and time trying to prove or show you something that really and truly, I already know. Those that see me, know me, love me, and it's cool. So you do what you do. So it's been such a fantastic episode.
Thank you. Thank
you good so much. Honestly, it's just it's been so. I just feel refreshed for some reason, but I think I just like the realness, authenticity.
Session, isn't it?
Honestly,
we helped each other out.
Honestly, so yes, this is the Glow Up Tribe podcast. Do like, comment, share, all of that good stuff, and I'll see you on the next episode. Thank you so much for watching. Do subscribe and hit that bell button for notifications of our uploads, and join the conversation over on our Instagram at the Glow Up Tribe Pod.